Just close your eyes. Know the peace within.
Dear GM, I would like to give my heartfelt gratitude for your teaching. I have a question about this statement just now in all your teachings. Can you please explain about just now?
Just now, you are conscious of your presence as I amness. Just now, you know that you are. Just now, in your conscious presence, not only your form, every form appear spontaneously. Just now, the world happens spontaneously. Just now, every object appears spontaneously. Just now, entire manifestation happens spontaneously. Just now, the breathing happens spontaneously. Just now, the heartbeat happens spontaneously. Just now, the blood circulation happens spontaneously. Just now, entire metabolic activities happen spontaneously. Just now, every movement happens spontaneously. Just now, the space happens spontaneously. Where in your I amness consciousness, your consciousness is infinitely, endlessly ever present in its non-dual state. Your consciousness is unchanging and unmoving. Your consciousness cannot know its presence in the unmoving state, in the non-dual state, because there's no movement. Your consciousness is eternally here, but it cannot know that it is eternally here unless the form happens, and only through the form your consciousness knows itself as I amness. Though your consciousness is eternally ever present, it comes to know its presence as I amness only just now. Just now means all appearances and disappearances, every movement, every objects in space. The space itself happens just now out of your consciousness. Your consciousness is not an object, it is prior to object. Your consciousness is already prior to space. Your consciousness is light. Out of the light of your consciousness, which is eternally ever present, just now, due to the spontaneous interaction of the elements, every object appears, moves and disappears in space. In space, every appearance is spontaneous by the play of the elements. Every movement is spontaneous by the interaction of the elements. Every disappearance is spontaneous by the play of the elements. Within space, at the duality level, everything is spontaneous, spontaneous, spontaneous. I call this spontaneous happening as just now, just now, just now. Just now, you only observe. Just now, everything appears and disappears at an unexplainable speed. Your consciousness remains ignorant that out of itself only the entire world is reflected. The entire cosmos is reflected. The entire universe is reflected. The entire galaxy is reflected. Entire manifestation is reflected just now in space. Unknowingly, your consciousness is accepting itself to be the tiny form. By accepting itself to be the tiny form, it is accepting as if everything is already there. Your consciousness does not know that everything is spontaneously happening just now. There are no person ever here just now, and all forms are exclusively by your consciousness just now. The entire duality is spontaneous. Entire object is spontaneous. The happening of every object is spontaneous. The happening of every form is spontaneous. The happening of every movement is spontaneous. What is not spontaneous here? Tell me, what is not spontaneous here in space? Everything is spontaneous. But your consciousness remains totally ignorant about the spontaneity of the duality show, which is nothing but the reflection of the light within due to the interaction of the elements. Your consciousness remains totally ignorant about itself. That's why it is said self-realizing itself is most essential. Your consciousness is never born. It is eternal, but it accepts itself to be born at the form level. I say this form itself is spontaneously now appearing and disappearing at an unexplainable speed. If you are the form, then who observes the form? Your consciousness is yet to know the observer prior to the duality, prior to the form. Your consciousness is totally ignorant about itself. That's why once the duality happens, though your consciousness is prior to the duality show, though your consciousness is in the eternal state, it is constantly trapped by the perceived duality as if everything is real, 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 real. When everything is real, how they disappear? Can real disappear? Here in duality, everything disappears. You don't know in deep sleep that you are. Your consciousness itself is missing, and you are no more conscious, world is missing. The moment you are conscious, the world is there. The moment you are no more conscious, world is not there. You never ponder over all these things. You never investigate about yourself. You never focus attention on yourself. You always worry about the non-existing future, non-existing object, as if everything is real. If object is real, it should be there always. Why it disappears? You are going on giving reality at the personality level as if the entire duality is real, 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 real. It is like exactly giving reality to a movie which is perceived on a screen. Here in the biggest screen of the space, the waking state begins, happens, moves, and the waking state disappears, and you call it as sleep state. Here everything appears and disappears, right from breathing, right from heartbeat. Everything appears and disappears, and you are looking for the reality within space. Because you are yet to know what is real. First to find out what is real, only then can you remain free from what is not real. I tell you, just now, you are conscious of yourself. And your conscious presence is known through the form, but it is already prior to the form. The form appears within space spontaneously, but the observer is prior to the duality show, prior to the form, prior to space. Your consciousness, by remaining ignorant about itself, unknowingly it accepts that it is born, unknowingly it accepts that it is suffering, unknowingly it accepts that it is going to disappear along with the form. You never die as you are never born. Where is the death for the one which is never born? I give you guarantee and I tell you with full conviction that you are already that and always that. To know the eternal secret about yourself, the only way is to settle inwardly and to remain wakeful inwardly. Then you know that you are the beginningless, endless, ever-present, ultimate, supreme observer. And whatever that observed in space at the manifested level is exclusively an unreal dream and not real. Just now, whatever appears, moves, happens in space is exclusively by the play of the elements, not by you. You are the constant observer. The elements appear, move, and disappear, not you, the observer. You neither appear nor disappear. You are eternally here. This secret you come to know only when you settle inwardly and not otherwise. Your consciousness is in timelessness. How it is trapped by the time once the duality appears? Because it does not know where it is. Once you know that you are in the non-dual state, you remain unbothered about the duality state which appears and disappears. But you constantly remain worried only about the duality show because you are yet to settle inwardly to know your original state. Seldom you settle inwardly and very quickly you come out and accept the duality alone to be the reality. You need immense courage to be with yourself and to settle inwardly and to know your eternal beauty beyond duality. At the duality level, everything is spontaneously reflected at an unexplainable speed. Just now, just now, just now. You are none of the happening within duality. You are the exclusive observer, the eternal observer prior to duality. Just observe silently, inwardly, and get to know that you are already prior to the duality. Only by settling and stabilizing inwardly, you get to know your eternal reality and remain free from the spontaneous movement of the duality show, which is not true. Settle inwardly to know that you are eternally here and you are not a duality show which happens, appears and disappears just now. Just now, every object appears, but you are the eternal observer. Just now, the world appears, but you are the eternal observer. Just now, the duality happens, but you are the eternal observer. Wake up and know that you are already that and always that.